Welcome back inside Ben Light Gymnasium on the campus of Ithaca College for round one of the women's volleyball NCAA tournament. 8 teams come to the South Hill, which brings a 4-game slate here today as we get set for game number 2. It's a showdown between 2 teams that have not lost since the month of October. It's the New York University Violets and the Eastern Nazarene College Lions. It's do or die for 2 conference champs. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us here on Bomber Athletics alongside my partner, Eli Fishman. I'm Cam Anna. We'll have you covered for this one between NYU and ENC. And Eli, we'll start on the NYU side. This Violet squad, Final Four last season, looking to avenge that loss against Trinity back in 2022.
Number 6 in the nation. They made it to the Final Four last year. 1 win, a set and a half away at one point from going to the championship game against Juniata. Could not come through, but this is a team that came out strong to start the season. It started with a loss to Ithaca, actually, who's the 2 seed and hosting in this tournament, but they have been hot out of the gate, and since then, 13 straight wins, 19 sweeps on the season for this number 6 ranked NYU team, among the best of the nation, and taking down Emory, who was the top 5 team ahead of last weekend in the UAA championship. 2 champions in their respective conferences, 2 of the best programs in the nation. ENC, they're 28-2, NYU 29-4, but right now, both these teams are 0-0. Who cares about the conference championship? Your record heading into the postseason doesn't matter right now. Everyone's 0-0, and right now it's do or die.
But what could matter in this one is the experience of the NCAA tournament. How far NYU has gone to be inside the tournament. And ENC, look at the last 3 seasons, they've gone to the NCAA tournament, losing in that first round after winning their conference championship. This Lions squad, they know this moment. They're looking to get past round number 1.
And Coach Brown saying earlier this week that experience under pressure is always as valuable of an asset as that comes to a team. And going to the Final Four last year made them a lot more comfortable in these big-time situations. The more you play in the tournament, the more you play in high-pressure situations, obviously the better you're going to get. And this is a team that, as you said, has a lot of experience. They have 3 different players who got All-American bids last year who are returning this season, and 3 of the best players in the nation potentially going back to All-American status this season. And that obviously gives you a lot of confidence. But right now, everyone's coming off a conference championship right here. 5 of the teams in this 8-team bracket coming off conference championships. But it's all about how you're going to respond, because everyone's coming in with the most confidence you could possibly have after amazing seasons. 2 of the most confident teams in the nation squaring off.
8 teams come to the South Hill to play this matchup, NYU and ENC. The number 1 team in this side of the tournament in the Violets, and ENC, the Lions, the number 8 team, looking to have a huge upset here from the South Hill. Eli, the question to you, how do the Lions get this done and dethrone the Violets, who are not hosting, but they're the number 1 seed here in this side of the bracket?
Play to your strengths. And for the Lions, a big part of that is on the offensive side. .251 hitting percentage, that's 13th in the NCAA. The service ace category as well. 3.26 service aces per set are 8th in the NCAA for this ENC team. The only problem is against a dominant force like NYU, how often are you going to actually be the one serving, playing to your strengths? And for NYU, one of the best defensive teams in the nation, pretty much everyone on the front line for this NYU team over 6 feet tall and some size to a big advantage. Top 10, a lot of defensive categories for NYU, especially blocks, where they overall this season have 2.62 per set. That's 3rd in the nation.
NYU on the right side of the floor in their white uniforms with the purple violet numbers, and ENC in the black and red uniforms on the left side of the hardwood. The Violets come in winners of 13 in a row, UAA conference champs. And the Eastern Nazarene College Lions, winners of 12 in a row, 10-0 in the North Atlantic Conference. 2 squads looking to move on here in the NCAA tournament, and their new season, as Eli mentioned, starts right now from the South Hill. The Violets will have that first chance to serve. On their side, Ava Lonsbach, the sophomore setter. 53 service aces this season, top 20 in the nation for her side. She gets set as ENC waits. And round 1 underway for these 2 squads, and a service ace. Right on cue for Lonsbach, now 54 in that department.
And the reception error on the far side there, just trying to bat that one down, give an opportunity to set. But we talked about NYU getting the first serve and trying to remain on top.
Lonsbach has been so special from this spot. Line drive, dugout on the far side from Barron. They set up Barron one more time, and you give her that one on the kill. Tied at 1 early, and a line of Barron. 271 kills this season.
Redemption after she had the reception error on the first play for the junior, who was the MVP in the NAC last season.
Here's Amanda Pierce on the serve for the Lions. Set up and dug out, but too far on the right side. Lonsbach was diving, and a quick service ace for the Lions there. They take a 2-1 lead.
Holes with the reception, tries to just dump it out on the set to the far side. No one there.
Pierce one more time. 41 service aces this season, and give her one more here. 2 in a row on the side for Pierce. The NAC Defensive Player of the Year 2 times this season, and put the Lions on a high note to start.
Talking about they've had a lot of success with the service aces this season. NYU's obviously flustered early.
Pierce one more time, set up in front, and Pierce goes with a line drive to the right side of the floor. 3 in a row, 3 time is the charm for the freshman.
We were talking about during warm-ups, too. ENC coming in against the number 6 team in the nation. Can be hard to boost that confidence. They've got the boost early.
NYU this time with a chance. Lonsbach sets one up on that right side to Nelson. A reset. Lonsbach gets it over. The Lions with a chance up in front here. Chestnut and Melendez. Hard shot and puts one through. Maria Clarabuk, the team leader in kills. And a huge one there for the sophomore, a 5-1 Lions lead to start. We said at pregame, how do the Lions start off hot and take control of an upset here? What a beginning for this group. Lonsbach with the dive, slapped over from Nazar. A chance here for the Lions. Slipped over from Barron and give her another one. Barron getting involved, 6-1 for ENC, and a timeout called for NYU. What a start. Everything out of the window. The number 1 seed in this side of the bracket, down by 5 early on.
Don't know if we saw that one coming against the number 6 team in the nation. Very strong start for ENC, especially with those service aces. 3 of them so far in the first 6 points. That's how you come up with a splash after an error on the reception on the first play. Able to come right back in. For NYU, their receiving has definitely got to improve against a team that, as we said, has a strength big time in that category. And on the general sets, we saw a couple mistakes on the defensive side for NYU by Hirano on 2 different times where she touched the ball, either got a fingertip on it or tried to set it on a ball that's likely out of bounds on the back line there. NYU looking to communicate a little bit better here against ENC, and they're hyped up in the huddle at the moment.
At ENC, led by head coach Derek Schmidt, his 7th season at the helm. 3 straight seasons, Conference Coach of the Year. They transferred to the North Atlantic Conference this season. Also won Coach of the Year, leading this squad to a 28-2 record and a 6-1 lead early on. And another chance here for Amanda Pierce at the service stripe. 3 service aces so far for the freshman out of Rhode Island. Lonsbach sets one up here for NYU, and they slam one home. Elise Curtin, the grad senior at 6'4", standing tall, bringing one home.
Transferring from Brown in the Ivy League. She's got an Ivy League championship to her name and a Division III one as well.
Grace Nelson on the serve for the Violets. An opportunity here. This is Barron, but rejected in front from the Violets' front line. Curtin and Nazar both standing above 6 foot, but Curtin got a hand on it.
Nazar, the Duke transfer, who was primarily a setter with Duke, but she's coming as the OH and succeeded greatly.
Nelson at the serve one more time, just slapped over there from Silazar. A chance here for the Violets. That was Nazar once again in company. Lonsbach sets one up here. This is Holes. She got the kill. The captain, above 350 kills this season, one of the top units on the NYU squad.
Whole lot of wide open court between that 10-foot line and the net on the far side. Saw that, eyes went there, struck it.
Dug out there from Brunner. A chance here from Clarabuk, and she gets one to just lace towards that left side. Past Lonsbach and company, and ENC back in front by 3.
Just an unfortunate ricochet there on the NYU side off the attempted block there from the near side, just bouncing right off the hands and straight onto the hardwood.
Maria Clarabuk, who just had the kill. Dug out from NYU and Hirano. Slapped over there from Holes, who just had a kill before. Pierce, a two-handed bump. Chance for you, NYU to reset. Hard slap over, but ricochet towards the left side. So NYU will get the point. And that's the difference here between these two squads, Eli. NYU so much better up front with their middle blockers.
A big reason for that is the height. Scamser, who hasn't played very much this season, the only player above 6 foot. She's not even on the court. On defense, they're barren 5'10".
Lindsay Hirano with the serve. Almost past that back line for ENC. Just bumped over here from Clarabook. An opportunity. Holes! Slams it home. Flying in the air, a lot of air time. Her second kill of the set.
Unstoppable when she's got a beautiful set. 358, that's their kills on the season. The size, in addition to that, it's 6'2", bringing a whole lot of power to the court.
Hirano once again. Dug out in front. A setup right towards the middle. That was a chance for Silazar. She puts a kill through towards that back left side. Over 200 kills this season for the freshman. And you look at this ENC squad too, Eli. Their youth. So many freshmen have stepped up big this season for the Lions.
A couple returners as well, who are just sophomores, including the Rookie of the Year in the conference last year in Ace Tuno.
A 2-point lead for the Lions, the number 8 seed. Holds a chance here looking for a third kill. Save from the Lions and company. Slapped on the far side from Tuo. Keeps it in the air is Barron, but Tuo can't chase it down. And NYU cuts the lead to 1. Few substitutions on their side as well. Dominique Druss, the junior, will come to the game. One of the setters, and she'll serve towards that back line for the Violets.
Druss with 50 service aces on the season. Wider coming in as well for the Violets.
50 for 45 on the service ace to error department. Also has 224 digs. Fires one right towards the middle. Pierce on the dig, but can't keep it in front. Right towards the scores table, and NYU ties it at 8. Every point's going to matter, but the Lions have held momentum so far. Backs against the wall, the underdog here in Ithaca. Druss right back at Pierce. This time is safe. Acetillo. There's Druss with the save on the NYU side. An opportunity there for Wider. Now the Lions in pursuit. A chance there for Clarabook. Holds one more time for the Violets. The Lions, a quick switch over. Telma Zelaya. Fooling everybody. It's just that eye fake towards the left side, looking to set somebody up. And Acetillo on the left side, she just has that quick get over.
The no-look shove, just slamming it over to the other side. Saying, go right back where you came from there. Caught off guard is NYU.
ENC back in front by 1. It's Annika Schmidt here with the serve. Druss taps one over, gives one in front to Wider. A good reset from the Lions. Acetillo! Picks up a kill, threading the needle in the back left-hand corner.
Could not be placed more perfectly, just over the fingertips of a couple of Violets, slapping right on the far right corner of the court where the lines meet.
Schmidt serves once again for the Lions. Bumped up there from Druss. An opportunity here for Holtz. She already has 2 kills. Lions respond well. Acetillo this time rejected in front. Leela Anvikar getting involved here, the junior middle blocker. Back to a 1-point game. Haley Holes will now serve. The captain, 2 kills so far, 358 on the season. Also, 33 service aces. Acetillo on the dig. A chance in front. This one is going to be too far. Swarming in was Piper Bullner, the junior middle blocker, just too much on it.
It's a heads-up play by the front line for NYU to lower their hands instead of trying to go up for the block without hit was high on the attack.
Haley Holes, she's too far in the service error. A chance there for the Violets to get their first lead of the set. Cannot conclude. Lions back in front by 1. This ENC squad, winners of 12 in a row. NYU, winners of 13 in a row. 2 of the hottest teams in Division III. Zelaya with the serve over. Chance here. And getting this one through is NYU. Anvikar once again. She'll now serve. That's her second kill. First chance now at the service strike. For Advocar, 26 service aces, looking for the first lead for NYU. Pierce digs it out. A chance here on the far side for Clarabuck, but NYU responds. Now Wider got the kill and the lead for the Violets. They're in front for the first time.
Coming off a big game in the UAA championship where she had 8 kills, 3 blocks against Emory, keeping the momentum rolling.
It was Advocar on the serve one more time. Blocked in front, another chance here. Aceituno had the hit over for the Lions. Here's Holtz in transition. Oh, perfect spot in the back left. Holds her third kill for the captain, and a timeout called here for Eastern Nazarene. And just like that, NYU, they're up by 2.
Talking about it earlier, strong start for ENC, all about containing this NYU dominant front line on the defensive side in terms of their blocking abilities, but also on their abilities to hammer the spikes into the ground. And obviously, Eastern Nazarene, these last couple of minutes, struggling on that front a little bit, and for very good reason against the number 6 team in the nation. Coach Smith in his 7th season, the coach of the year in the NECC the past 2 seasons before moving over to the NAC for ENC. 4 straight NCAA tournament berths for Schmidt, looking to keep this team rolling after early exits in the last 2 tournaments, going out in round 1. Haven't been given the best draws out the last couple of times in terms of their seedings, having to face some of the best teams in the nation in early rounds the last couple of seasons, getting a poor drawing in terms of their favor again against the top-seeded NYU.
Lost in round 1 last season. The CNC squad went 23-2 into the tournament. 28-2 for this season. And NYU, as we talked about, they understand the tournament. Final 4 last year against Trinity, lost that. Trinity lost to Juniata in the finals. NYU will serve out of the timeout. They lead by 2. Leela Advocar has the kill so far, not a service ace. Tips one over. Oh, might have just jinked ENC. Helped out Advocar. She gets the service ace. Some help from the net, 14-11 Violets. 13 All-American in 2022 was Advocar. This time a service error. And the Lions with a chance here. And Aceituno now to the service strike.
Smart mental play there by the freshman Pierce to let that ball go out just beyond the end line.
For Aceituno, 2 kills so far, 68 service aces this season, a team leading for the Lions. Chance here for the Violets. Miscommunication, just tipped over in front from Drust. Pierce sets one up here, ricocheted in front, and a kill for the Lions. Maria Clarabuck, her 3rd of the match. She's been the difference. If the Lions can set her up on the right side, they've been successful.
They've been strong from the service line, too. Pretty much a tough play for Holes, kind of battering it up into the air in a poor set.
Aceituno with the serve right towards Holes, who digs it out. Drust over the head. An opportunity for Nelson. She can't respond. Resets here for the Violets. Here's Wider, just tipping it over. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that hard kill over the net. Wider just that deceptiveness with the body and just tipping it over the net.
Almost winding it up like she was going to go for the big-time attack and the highlight reel kill. No, just a little gentle push over the net there. More than effective.
Ava Lonsbatch back to the service line. She started this game. Almost far to the right side. Aceituno saved it. Barron hits it over. Violet set up, in rhythm. Wider just tipping it over. This time the Lions read it. Back to Barron with a chance. She's got it. Alina Barron, the junior outside hitter, the NECC Player of the Year last season. ENC moved to the NAC this year, but she's still been dominant. Pierce now serves. 15-14 NYU in front. Nelson, bullseye. Grace Nelson, the freshman out of Pasadena, California. Eli, 325 kills now this season for the first year.
Talking about the youth of ENC, couple of grad students and some stars, couple D1 transfers for NYU, but it's the freshman there coming up clutch.
She serves on a 2-point lead, now a 3-point lead for NYU. And Nelson just so dominant. Had 14 kills in the final against Emory, now 56 service aces. 3 more years left of college volleyball for number 13. Goes dead middle. Barron digs it out. An opportunity right in front from Clara Buck, and she wins one home. Just tipped on the side out there from Holes. Now a 2-point game. But how competitive the Lions have been. The number 8 seed in this side of the bracket. A lot of people watching on to see what the Lions can put together. Clara Buck on the serve. Tipped off the net. Lawns bash. Holes slamming the hammer down. 18-15 NYU. 4 kills now for the senior captain.
Racking him up. 18 versus Emory. So far this season, 18 10-plus kill games. Just the start for the senior Holes.
Lindsay Hirano now on the serve. Lions a chance in front, and the hammer given to the other side. Shantae Salazar, her second kill of the set, jolting some life into ENC. They'll serve once again. Elena Barron here on the serve as her whole bench clapping her on. Holes cannot save it. Almost hits the basketball hoop on the other side of the gym. 1-point game. How important this first set could be for ENC to get a set lead over the number 1 seed. Barron once again. Holes digs it out this time. Lawnsbatch on the far side. Tipped up in the air. Nazar with the save. Lawnsbatch diving around. Nazar hits it over. Lions, prime chance. Aceituno can't get it home. Nazar once again. Can the Lions save it? Two-handed hit on the third chance. They're going to set up Holes. A tip to the right side. Playing tic-tac-toe. 2-point lead for NYU in front, 19-17. That point right there, Eli, crucial for momentum.
It's what you need if you're ENC in set number 1. That's how you start off a match.
Here's Dominique Druss now on the serve for the Violets. Second time she's at the service stripe. Service ace. 3-point lead, and now the Violets creeping away here in set number 1. Druss, the junior. That was her second service ace of the match. Her squad waits on, she fires. Not dug out. Another service ace. Norichka Melendez couldn't haul it in. Timeout call for the Lions. 21-17, NYU in favor.
And after an early lead of 6 points at one time for ENC, we've seen especially that front group, including Holes, already with 5 kills in this one. A pair for Wider, battling back. It's been the blocks of the front row. A few service aces to go with that. 6 so far for NYU. And you can see why they've had success all season. Same thing with Eastern Nazarene, who hasn't necessarily seen the competition in this season, get to face a ranked team coming in with a tough opponent against NYU. But Eastern Naz, the reason they're here, they dethroned the 6-time defending champion in the NAC in Maine Maritime to clinch the championship. The Lions, they were down 2 sets, 2-0, a reverse sweep, battled back in 5 sets to take down Maine Maritime. And so far we've seen the fire, we've seen the resiliency, and we've seen the pure power of this Eastern Naz team and what they're capable of.
A really resilient group. Winners of 12 in a row, 9 sweeps in those 12 games. They get to this point, and the big question is, can ENC get over the hump? But NYU playing their best volleyball in the last 9 points. Dominique Druss, it's been a 7-2 advantage in the last 9 points for NYU. Druss in the 21-17 lead. Pierce digs it out. An opportunity in front. That one was ricocheted from Bullner. Now here's Holes, which is a tip towards the middle. Lions now reset. Clara Buck slaps it over. A reset. Holes for the Violets. Great response there from Melendez. Now here's Aceituno. Too far. Oh, no, it's tipped. It was tipped off of NYU. Looked like Holes on the back right side, so the Lions get a point.
Near side line judge going with the tip signal. Huge point there. A little bit of a mistake on the NYU side. Talking about momentum. Eastern Naz on the bench getting excited. Huge.
Here's Annika Schmidt, the freshman, second time she'll serve. Goes dead middle. Holes digs it out. Set up from Hirano. Chance back to Holes. Right spot. 22-18, NYU in front. And the captain now serves for the Violets. And what Holes has done, she's been all over the place. Those digs to start, they set her right back up on the near side. Too far in her serve. Now 22-19 your score. When it seems like NYU has the momentum, ENC takes it right back. This is their chance right now, having the service advantage. Telma Zelaya, the senior. Set up from the stripe. Holes, it's dug out. Drust sets one up. An opportunity and a score. Ella Wider with the kill, 23-19 NYU.
Third of the game early on for Wider, bringing the power there, coming down with the spike.
Here's Anvikar on the serve. 2 more points for NYU is what they need. Asatino, she's rejected in front. One more time for her. Dips it over the net. Drust resets for NYU. And there's their kill leader in Nelson. 24-19. Set point coming up for the Violets. Leela Anvikar looking to do the job and put NYU in front 1-0. Pierce on the dig. Nobody there. And that does it for set number 1. NYU, the number 1 seed. They'll take down ENC in the first set, 25-19. Set 2 coming up. Both sides will switch sides. All-hand play-by-play off to Eli Fishman when we return here at Bomber Athletics.
In round 1 of the Ithaca Regional, NYU and Eastern Nazarene. NYU the winner, 25-19 in set 1 after ENC was up 6-1 early on. But NYU, the number 6 team in the nation, Cam, they're cruising.
They are right now, and it all came down to finding their really top player in Haley Holes, the captain for this team. 6 kills so far. She's been the dig leader as well. Once she got going and NYU understood and the magnitude of this game, they got their feet under them and were able to respond really well. It was that early start for ENC, a lot of service aces, some sloppy play from the Violets, but they responded very well after being down 6-1, as you said.
3 aces in the first 4 points of the game to start it off for ENC. But NYU battling back, as you said. Holds the All-American entering this season. Been a big force of that at 6'2", 6 kills already. ENC 12 straight wins. NYU 13 straight. Here in round one from Ithaca, the 1 seed and the 8 seed. Switching sides is ENC now on the right side of the court, NYU on the left. Ready to send it over here, ENC. And Ase Tuno, she sends it over and rather off the net. Service error for point one, NYU.
That's what NYU needs to start. In that first slate, we saw NYU on the service errors, not ENC. Not a strong start for the Lions.
Nelson from the near side of the court in front of her Violet's bench and leaping overhand serve just beyond the 10-foot line. Picked up on the set and out of bounds on the kill. Point NYU trying to go with the attack there. Bolner, and it's just out of bounds in front of the scorer's table.
Yeah, a few misses there for Bolner, just being able to find herself. It's been Clara Book who's been that number one kill player on the NC side.
Nelson off the net and just on top of the 10-foot line. Service ace there, getting some help from the ricochet, bouncing off the hardwood.
And her second ace as well. She's done wonders this season as a freshman for NYU.
Nelson to the far side, set up into the near side and off some fingertips, kept alive by NYU. The overhand set, Holes goes down for the kill. Tack on another for Haley Holes.
Man, Holes is just dominant. 7 kills now for her, and quick timeout called here for ENC. But, man, Holes comes into this match, 358 kills. Had 18 kills in that final against Emory, a really good team. She's the anchor of this squad. They go as far as Holes can take them. And, you know, for her to get a lot of help as a senior from a freshman coming in, Grace Nelson, has made her job a lot easier.
4 unanswered from NYU, and Schmidt and ENC is going to take their first timeout. NYU, as you mentioned, taking down Emory in the championship. Emory, a team that entered the season number 4 in the nation, went to the final 8 last season, and they've been back and forth in terms of the championship. This time it was hosted down in Georgia by Emory, and NYU came down and knocked off who Emory at the time was the number 4 team in the nation. Emory now falling all the way down to 7 in the national poll, thanks to this NYU team making it 13 straight wins with the championship. Looking to make it 14 wins and advancing into the second round of regionals.
And a big thing for NYU is their head coach, Andrew Brown, in his 5th season right now, 3rd NCAA appearance for him, and what he's been able to do as a head coach. His career started at St. Peter's University. They were 0-33 before he got there, and year by year he went to Union, and then now here, he's just built good programs, and the players just seem to revolve around him.
Up 4-0. This serve from Nelson kept up. ENC and on the block. Who is it? It's Holes and Curtin. Yet again, that force to be reckoned with on the front line for NYU. 5-point stand here in set number 2. NYU leading 1-0. And the serve to the back line kept in bounds there. One hit to tap it over. And it's off the top of the ceiling on the 3rd hit. So another point in favor of the Violets. It's now 6-0. And this is the dominance that we've seen all season from NYU. 19 sweeps on the year.
And a lot tougher for ENC to come back from a 6-point deficit.
From the near side, the serve over to the far side corner on the ENC side. And just out of bounds on the kill attempt there. It was Pierce who came down with it, looking for some points just beyond the near side line. 7 straight for NYU. Nelson getting her reps out of this one as the set to the front side, and the attack is kept alive by NYU. Sent up into the air, Hirano slinging it over. And out of bounds. Lions on the attack. Barron there, 8-0.
And Ava Lonsbach on that dig for NYU wasn't just the hands on the bump. That one was off her chin as well, keeping that one alive for the Violets. And what a start for Grace Nelson at the service stripe. 8 straight points. And this is where things can start to get out of hand for ENC, because that first set, close back and forth, the Violets pulled away, and now the Violets are playing the volleyball, Eli, that we expected when we came into Ben Light for this game this afternoon.
6-1. ENC was up in set number 1 before eventually dropping the first set against NYU. As you said, it was close the entire time. 25-19 was the final. But an ENC team that's put up a whole lot of fight. Schmidt uses his second timeout, trying to kill the momentum of the Violets here, who are all smiles in the huddle, trying to send themselves to round 2. But pure dominance from that front line, and Holes already a couple of blocks in addition to her 6 kills in set number 1. And combining with Elise Curtin at 6'4", the grad student from Brown, combining for 3 blocks already.
8 different players on the NYU squad that are usual players that are in the rotation are above 6 foot. The height of this team for the Violets makes it so tough for a team like ENC. You look throughout their roster, all the way from top to bottom, only 1 player that is at that 6 foot mark. So that just that height factor in front makes it a lot easier for NYU to play their brand of volleyball, and that's the blocks in front of the net.
8 straight points for NYU to start off set number 2 as Nelson sends it over. It's let go, but inbounds. Pierce on the defensive side rolls the die. That one just bounces inside of the stripe. 9 straight for the Violets, looking to keep it rolling here in set number 2 as Nelson sends it over to the far side. Tug out. Another chance here, tapping it over, and the sliding dig by Hirano, and the kill for Holes.
Holes is just on a different level. She's playing a different brand of volleyball, and it's tough for ENC to block that in front. Holes came over and just, hammered that over everybody that was in front of the net.
10 straight. Nelson just to the backcourt. Now the set. Tapped over, and the kill that time. Maria Clarabook gets ENC on the board in set 2.
And for ENC, now just give it back to Pierce here, who has 4 service aces so far. Give her a chance to put you back into this one.
Pierce sends it over with the overhand serve. The set up here, the fake, as it's hit to the far side from Nazar. Back and forth they go, and on the block, Elise Curtin. 131 blocks entering today, leading the team. Gets it done yet again.
Big there for Curtin. And once again at 6'4", above 130 blocks. Just so tough in front there for the Violets.
4th in the nation with 1.3 blocks per set. As the errant pass off the antenna on the far side. That time it was Barron just trying to send it over and give the opportunity for Clarabook to come down with the kill. Passes just a little long off the antenna. It's 12-1. To serve now is Serrano from the far side of the court. Shoots it over to the center of the ENC side. On the attack now. Kept up in the air, Nazar. Now down with the kill, out of bounds on the attempt from Holes. Let go on the ENC side. Holes using the power of the attack. Just too far out of bounds. It's a 10-point set 2, 12-2.
And a sigh of relief there for ENC. Just got to cut this momentum down. Few points on your side with the service advantage here for Schmidt.
Sending it over on the far side, Deaton. And the set and the kill. And Vakar getting in on the action as we're going to see a couple substitutions on the Violet side. Drust comes back into the game. Ready to send it over this time for the Violets is Drust as she comes in to serve. She had 3 service aces in the first set. And the leaping serve out to the 10-foot line, dug out. ENC taps it over to the far side, kept alive by the Violets. It's Drust who shoots it over to the back right corner. Now on the kill, coming down with it, kept alive. The diving dig from Hirano, kept up in the air, back and forth. Holes just shoots it over towards the far side of the court now, and the block. The double block, and Vakar and Holes combining to make it 14-2.
Man, Holes and Anvikar are just so dominant in front. You wonder why this team was in the Final Four last season, 29 wins this year. It's because of that front line.
Drust sends it over to the far side, kept up in the air. Pierce off the net.
And that right there is what's so deceptive about just having two tall middle blockers. You get fooled about the height and the net, and that went off the net that time, too low.
Now to the middle of the court. It's dug out by Barron. Barron now taps it over off the antenna. Looking like an opening in the lane there. Sends it over to the near side. Just off the antenna. It's 16-2 NYU. Sent over again from the near side. Drust. Kept up in the air. Now the attack attempt gets sent right back over to ENC. Dug out NYU, the overhand set. Holtz comes down with the kill. Kept alive. Hit over the net to the near side. Dug out this time Hirano. Down with the kill. For the first time today, it's Wider.
And big there for Wider. Really also getting involved now in her presence on that right side.
5 straight points for NYU out of the timeout. There's a serve to the near side. It's kept up in the air by ENC. Tapped over from the near side by Barron. Overhand set down with the kill and another for Ella Wider. Back to back.
The biggest difference between set 1 and set 2 is NYU and their patience to be able to have that third and final hit set up for Holes or Wider on that right side. You give your outside hitters the best chance to succeed.
Brunner comes in here for ENC and the service ace. That time going out of bounds on the end line off the hand of Drust. 18-3 the score. And the Lions just looking for some momentum to keep their season going. Sending it over now, Barron. Couple taps on the floor, sends it over with the leaping overhand serve. Holes with the set, feeds it to herself. Easy money for Haley Holes. Sends it into the ground, bringing it up from below Drust. And with ease, almost indefensible on the Lions side. Holes now to the line.
And Holes right now being able to get kills on any part of the floor.
Holes with the leaping serve over to the middle of the court on the ANC side. Overhand tap coming down on the attack. There, Barron kept up in the air by Hirano. Now again, the attack from Curtin kept up in the air. Back and forth they go. Now on the far side, it's Nelson. She just taps it over, kept alive. ENC. And they're going to call a violation on the Violets here. ENC gets the points as Aceituno was coming down on the attack.
And Chloe Hum going to check in here, the captain, first appearance for her on the NYU side. 19-4 lead. Man, what a change of sets from 1 to 2. You think this could be a competitive battle? You put ENC in the driver's seat for a bit, but the Violets have taken it all back.
Sending it over from the far side, Deaton. Smack in the middle of the court. Dug out, Drust. And the diving dig, but it's slapped out of bounds on the pancake on the defensive side. It was Melendez trying to go for that one. Sends it into the far side bleachers. It's 20-4. And Vicar to serve from the far side. 20-4, the score here in set 2. NYU after a Final Four appearance last year as it's dug out. Melendez tapped over that time and unsuccessful from Polner. Kept up in the air continuously by ENC. This time Hum. Now coming down on the attack is Nelson, but it's off the net. Unable to send it over there on the attack. 20-5 the scores. We're going to see a couple more substitutions on the ENC side. We see Clara Book return to the game as Ann Vicar comes to the bench on the NYU side. Now sent over to the near side. Deaton finding a lane there off the hardwood and a point on the service ace.
A lot of dominance here, but there's been some fight from ENC. Trying to just stick together and keep any morale in the air.
Zelaya, rather, on the serve. Kept up in the air, Nelson. Nelson gets the feed on the attack and the kill. Talking about it earlier, the freshman Grace Nelson on a team loaded with upperclassmen talent. The freshman has starred this season, only playing 14 sets, but she's starred very much so today. 199 kills entering the day. 14 kills in the championship and continuing to dominate. From the near side, Lonsbach sends it over to the middle of the court. Overhand set here on the attack. Kept alive and off the tip from Clarabook, out of bounds. Trying to feed Aceituno, the kill leader for ENC. But she just keeps on getting rejected by that front line for the Violets. 22-6. Sent over from the near side, Lonsbach. Dug out on the far side by Aceituno. Kept up in the air by the libero, that's Serrano. Getting the feed and the kill. Grace Nelson, yet again.
And Lindsay Hirano, what a setup there to Nelson. They communicated right before that hit and gave Nelson a lot of airtime to slam it home.
Lonsbach takes her time, sends it over to the near side. Out to the far side on the NC side as it's dug out by Aceituno. And the block out of bounds. Rather, they'll say that was, or rather was indeed out of bounds off the block that time from Lonsbach. Almost looked like it was going to be inside from that far corner, just beyond in front of the bleachers on the far side as another substitution on the ENC side. Checking back in here, Barron. Going to the bench, Melendez. Ready to send it over from the far side. It's the kills leader, Aceituno, sending it to the middle of the court. It's just going to be sent right back over. ENC with an opportunity to set something up. They go to the far side as it's kept up in the air. A violation there on the Violets as on the kill attempt coming that time from Clarabook. ENC gets the point. Aceituno with the leaping serve. Off the net, service error. Match point coming here.
And a chance here for NYU to go into that third set on a 2-0 lead and bring things home to send themselves to Friday and move on as the number one seed in the region.
It's the freshman superstar, Grace Nelson. Set point here. Sends it over to the far side. Dug out Aceituno. The overhand set coming down on the attack. Clarabook kept in the air on the dig. Hirano on the attack. And out of bounds there from Nazar. Eastern Nazarene looking to chip away.
And Pierce is who you want on the service stripe for your side. If anything, if any magic's going to happen here.
Pierce, 40 service aces to 15 service errors throughout the regular season. As the high sent here to Lemons. She gets fed, and she comes down with the kill. NYU takes set number 2. All the momentum in their favor, 25-9 after a 10-0 run to start the set. They're going for the sweep here for ENC. Their backs against the wall, heading into set number 3 from Ben Light Gymnasium.
It's do or die inside Ben Light Gymnasium. Can NYU move on to Friday and round 2 of the NCAA tournament, or can Eastern Nazarene keep their spectacular season alive here in the third set? Alongside Eli Fishman, I'm Cam Anna, having you covered here for all this NCAA tournament volleyball from Ithaca, New York, and NYU on the 2-0 department lead in the match. And Eli, that first set was close, but the dominance from NYU, what we expected, came alive in set number 2.
And it was the dominance out of the gate. 10 straight points to start it for NYU. 4 of those coming on service aces. A whole lot of kills from Haley Holtz, who has been just pure dominance so far, already 9 through 2 sets. And this NYU team, all the momentum in their favor.
Holtz so far the dominator on the NYU side with 9 kills. And NYU 25-9 in the victory in the second set. They'll have the chance here to move on to round number 2 for the 4th straight season, losing in the Final Four last year against Trinity. And this squad led by Andrew Brown, his 5th season at the helm, looking to stay consistent and dominant. The number 1 seed in the Ithaca Regional. It'll be Ava Lonsbach to serve here. She started off in set number 1. She'll start you off here in set number 3. We're underway. Straight serve, Pierce on the ding. Set up on the far side. Barron with the slap. Lonsbach sets up. Hirano. A chance here for Nelson. Tipped around in front. The Lions reset. Clara Book. She'll pull one home. Ricocheted on the side out by NYU. And the Lions, the start they wanted, the start they got in the first set, they get it here in the third. Amanda Pierce, the freshman, on the serve. 4 service aces here in this one. Holes in the dig. Lonsbach, a chance here, whistle blown. And it looks like an under the net violation against NYU. Coming in was Nazar and Curtin and company. And the Lions 2 straight points to begin. Pierce back to it. The freshman out of Rhode Island. Holes in the dig. Lonsbach sets up Nelson. Can't put it home. A great dig from Asatuno and company. Pierce, the 2 bump over. Lonsbach. Nelson one more time. Takes something off of it. Places it right in front where nobody could respond. And Nelson has done it all from set number 2 on.
Curtin, she's not going to get an assist in the stat sheet on that one, but a beautiful deke there, looking like she was going to come in for the kill, almost whiffing at the ball, setting up the kill.
Nelson's serve brings the Lions towards the stands. Bumped over from Barron. Lonsbach, a chance here, and a kill. Elise Curtin, her 3rd of the match, the grad senior out of Tampa Bay, Florida, over the 100 mark this season. Back to Nelson one more time at the service strike. Nelson winds up. And a service ace for the freshman. Alina Barron cannot respond. She was so good in that first set to open up any serve on a dig. And a 3-2 NYU lead. Nelson one more time. Barron bumps it in the air. In rhythm is Clara Buck. And this one's too far. Now 4 straight points for NYU, back into rhythm.
10 straight to start off set 2 after Eastern Naz had a 6-1 lead early on in set 1.
And Nelson looking for her 6th service ace. Goes dead middle. Pierce bumps it in the air. Barron a chance. And Barron brings it home. 4-3 game. And the one thing you got to give ENC credit for, especially in that first set, not letting NYU gain too much momentum and being able to slither back. Here's Maria Clarabuck on the serve. It's a service error. Too far towards the right side. Her 2nd service error of the match. And NYU back in front by 2. Here's Lindsay Hirano. 39 service aces this season. Has picked up 2 so far in this match. A chance there from Pierce and Barron. Bumped up one more time in front of the net. That was Zalia in motion. And too far on the hit was Barron for the Lions. But it was tipped, looks like off of NYU. Andrew Brown, their head coach, does not love the call. Makes it 5-4.
Lucky tip there for ENC to keep the ball in their serving favor. This point only down by 1.
Here's Alina Barron one more time on the serve in a 1-point game. Holes bumps it in the air. Lonsbash back to Holes. She's been the difference. Did she get it in? This one's too far. And ENC, they've been very strong here in this third set, backs against the wall in 2023. As a substitution for their side, it'll be Rika Melendez coming in for ENC. Here's Dominique Drust. 4th chance at the service. Strike, give her a service ace. NYU in front by 3. And Drust has been dominant on that side of things. Now her 3rd service ace. Drust one more time. Pierce can't pick it up with a dig, but off the ceiling. They get some help. Bumped over from Asatuno. Drust resets here for NYU. Wider taps it over with the kill. 8-4 Violets.
That time just a dump play. Saw the front line going up on the ENC side. Just gives it a little tap right over their heads. And that's going to lead to Derek Schmidt calling the first time out of set number 3. Down 8-4 after the beauty there.
And the big thing we saw in this Ithaca Regional for the NCAA tournament, and to have these first 3 rounds, NYU and Ithaca played in the first match of the season at NYU, a 3-1 4-set victory for the Bombers. And that's something here where everyone looks at the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed. NYU is the number 1, but not hosted on their campus here in Ithaca. But those 2 teams, Eli, that's what everyone's looking for as this half of the tournament goes on.
That's what you got to be looking for. As the winner of this game here, after today, will go on to face the winner of the next game between Tufts and Eastern, who just played. So they're going to be facing Eastern after what was a 5-set battle. And NYU, the momentum clearly in their favor. Babson, Stevenson, and Ithaca, Framingham State tonight. Ithaca, the number 2 seed. And Ithaca and NYU, the only 2 ranked teams in this regional. Eyes are on both of those teams late.
2 very dominant teams, and NYU looking to start off on a high note here on the South Hill. 8-4 lead out of the timeout here in match point. Here's Asatuno. Hard hit, a response from Hirano and NYU. Here's Holes. She gets rejected in front. Have not seen that too often in this one. Shantae Silazar, the freshman, batting it away. And Silazar checks out here after the emphatic move right in front.
Almost looks accidental. Kind of just like sticking a hand up, and the ball got tapped on it as she was going to the ground after the initial jump.
Schmidt on the serve. Dug out from Holes. Right back to her. Can't hammer it home this time. Here's Asatuno. She's got it. 2-point game. ENC out of the timeout with some mojo. And they'll serve here on their side of the floor. Back to Annika Schmidt for the 2nd straight time. 4th time she's been at the service line. Goes dead middle. Nelson bumps it in the air. Miscommunication from the Violets. Nelson took a few steps back. Had the dig off the net. 1-point game. Nelson's been big in the kill department. Also has 4 service aces. Here's Schmidt for the Lions. Holes bumps it in the air. Drust setting up wider. Bumped up in front. Lions with a chance. Slippery move from Zelaya. But here come the Violets. Gonna be too far. Strong hit there from Wider and company. But now just like that, we're tied at 8 in the 3rd set. Schmidt for the 4th straight time. Holds a 2-hand bump. They go right back to her. She's the kill leader. Sets up the Lions. 2-handed hit. And this time the fake from Zelaya was not working. Almost seemed like she just gave up on that set.
Not necessarily expecting the pass there. Kind of just tries to send it over the net at the last second on what would have been the final hit. And it just goes right into the net on that third.
Holes on the serve. Bumped in the air from Melendez. Rejected in front was the NYU side, and off the left antenna, and the Violets get a point. Those are those middle blockers. Camille Nazar, Elise Curtin and company making it so difficult on ENC. They're back in front. The Violets 10-8. Asatuno rejected. Nazar and Wider once again saying no way in front, and 11-8 Violets lead.
What are you supposed to do when you're up in the air with a perfect set and those two are in front of you? Nothing you can do.
And Holes a service ace, third of the match. Has shown it on all aspects. The digs, the kills, the serves, 2 assists as well for number 9, the senior captain. Back to it. A lot of topspin on that one. Asatuno. Holes with a right-handed hit. Here's a chance for Nelson. Can't tip it over. Off the net, ENC with a point. They make it 12-9. But a spot right now for the Lions. You're in the battle. They want that first lead. They have the 2-point lead early on, but their biggest lead, that 6-1 margin in that first set. Here's Telma Zelaya on the serve. Druss sets one up here. A hammer from Ann Vakar, but she is rejected in front. The middle blockers now standing tall for ENC, something we have not seen in this one. 12-10 game. Zelaya one more time. The serve from the senior. Bumped up from Hirano on the dig. Druss, two-handed hit. Nelson. Got it. 3-point lead for the Violets and some substitutions on their side. It's Elise Curtin back in the game, standing at 6'4", right in front with Ella Wider at 6'1". Here's Leela Anvikar. Her serve bumped in the air and slammed back down. Almost a slam dunk from Elise Curtin, who just checked in. 4-point lead for NYU.
Looking like she's getting the bounce pass from the point guard going down under for the kill.
Anvikar now in the service error. And just like that, back to a 3-point game. It's that slippery slope. No team, no lead has been safe in both the first and now the third set. Set number 2, just an outlier for these squads. Asatuno on the serve. Druss setting one up. Far side. Wider with the tap over everybody and places it down for the point. 15-11 NYU. And Wider, now her 5th kill. Here's Ava Lonsbatch, who's been in a lot of the time to serve. Started it off here in set number 3. 53 service aces this season for the sophomore. Give her another one. Lonsbatch has done her job here in this match against Eastern Nazarene, a 16-11 lead. Lonsbatch one more time. Had 7 service aces in the conference championship. And a rejection in front from Curtin on the NYU side. It was Elena Barron and Piper Boulder looking to hit one home. But NYU, it is all of them here in the third set with a 2-0 match lead. They lead 17-11.
I feel like at some point, if you're ENC, you just kind of got to move away from your typical low set, high attack. Because against the front line for NYU and the height, the size, the dominance they bring in the block category, it's simply not working. We talked about it. There's almost nowhere to go when you get the set, when you're up in the air, when you're going for the kill, and you leap up and you've got 2 or 3 players at 6 foot plus in front of you, including at 6'4". Extremely difficult for this ENC team, but also gives you a little confidence in some of the other teams in this region, in this tournament, in this bracket against an NYU team. We've definitely seen, obviously the couple times in set 1 where ENC was on top, as well as their ability to battle back here in set number 3. They found a couple of weak spots for NYU. The problem right now is that they're getting blocked every time they go on the attack.
It will be Babson and Stevenson playing next. They were watching on, and as Eli said, it gives you confidence. NYU, everyone saw how dominant this Violets team was. 29-4. They've won 13 straight. They're the top-seeded team in both the nation and here in the region. But ENC, the number 8 seed here in the Ithaca Regional, they've battled in the first and third set. 17-11, NYU looking to hammer home a round 1 W. Lons Batch on the serve. Bumped in the air from Barron on the dig. They go back to Barron with the kill. Alina Barron, her 5th kill of the match, the team's kill leader, a player of the year in 2022 in the NECC. Gives way to Amanda Pierce, the freshman. She'll serve. That's been the bright spot on the ENC side. Holes bumps it up. Waiting on Nelson. Tipped twice in the air. Lions now reset. One more time for Barron. 2 in a row. And here come the Lions out of the timeout. That's where they've done so well. And substitutions on the NYU side. It'll be Evelina Passmoy, the sophomore for NYU. Pierce goes dead middle. Holes just get in the air. Lonsbash, Nelson, just a tip over the net. Back to Barron on that left side. 3 times the charm. 3-point game.
Momentum, huge. You saw it in set number 2. If you're down early, the momentum dies. You're going to die in that set. But right now, ENC is stuck in this one. Also, you're playing at a neutral site game. That's one of the toughest part about regionals and about the NCAA tournament in general for so many squads who, especially you look at an ENC team with a lot of support on campus, having to go to a neutral site. It's not like there's too many NYU fans in the stands, couple ENC parents. You've got to bring your own momentum. You've got to bring your own energy. And on a streak like that for ENC with 3 straight points, when your sideline starts bringing the energy, that obviously increases the momentum, increases the competition, and they're hyped up in the huddle right now. Schmidt trying to give his team one more set, one more chance, one more win on what has been a terrific season.
A historic season for this ENC squad. 10-0 in the conference champs in that NAC final, beating Maine Maritime in 5 sets, down 2-0, coming all the way back. So, hey, they're used to a situation like this, down 2-0, season on the line. They trail by 3 here in the third set. Amanda Pierce one more time at the service line as the Lions bench all clapping in rhythm. Dugout here from Allen and company. Chance for Nelson, tipped off the net, kept alive. Pierce bumps it up. Barron hits it over. Holes keeps it alive for the Violets. In rhythm is Nelson, but she is said no way and denied in front. 2-point game.
What a job by Elena Barron there. The initial dig off of what was a great attack, and then the job she does to send it over, allow the poor set, and eventually the block on the NC side.
Holes gives it to Curtin, and there it is for the Violets. Back in front by 3. And now walking over to the service line, Grace Nelson leads the match in service aces. Looking to send the Violets to round number 2. Goes dead middle. Asatuno bumped in the air. Here's Clara Book, that kill leader for the Lions, but she's rejected in front. Holes and Curtin keeping 2 hands in the air. They give it back to Nelson on the serve. 19-15 NYU. Nelson, the freshman out of Pasadena, California. Asatuno. Here's Clara Book. Oh! On the right side. Just threaded the needle. 3-point game, back to it.
Talked about how difficult it is to defend when you're on the offensive side. That front group of blockers on the front line for NYU. That time, just a little dump over the right side, threading the needle through traffic. Just inbounds.
Clara Book now serves. Here's Holes. They want her for NYU. Barron keeps it alive. Barron tips it over. Hirano. On that right side is Drust. And just tips it over the net for NYU. They now lead by 4 points once again. Now this is their chance for the Violets. Get in front by 5 for the first time in the last 10 points. Lindsay Hirano on the serve of the libero. Dug out from Pierce and Hirano. Asatuno, what a save from Hirano on that right side. Holes. Here are the Lions. In rhythm. There's Barron. She's got it. Back to a 3-point game. These last 4 points have been the exact same. ENC gets one to make it a 3-point game. Violet's back in front by 4. Who's going to change the tide? And all the predictability here. Service error on Elena Barron. NYU 21-17 here in a match point. Dominique Druss to serve. Her and Grace Nelson on the NYU side have been the consistent servers. Druss at 50 service aces in the regular season, 55 for Nelson. Druss fires. Dug out from Pierce. Zelaya set one up for Barron. NYU resets. Holes. Taps it over. Oh, what a save. Clara Book. And a rejection in front. Silazar puts one home. You almost thought for a second on Holes on her kill. Very close to hitting the hardwood. But just a dig and a save in front from the ENC side. They make it 21-18, still trailing. Here's Annika Schmidt, the freshman. Biggest serves of her season. Holes digs it out. Hirano sets up Holes. Holes a right-handed slam. She's got it. 22-18. Seesaw kind of battle. One side gets a point to make it 3. NYU back in front by 4. Holes will serve here for the Violet side. Magic number 25 to move on to round number 2. Throws it high in the air, a lot of topspin. Just tipped over from Zelaya. The Violets race set. Here's Wider. Is this too far? Not going to sneak in. Eastern Nazarene with the point, 22-19. 3-point game once again. Telma Zelaya, who's been huge in front for the Lions, had that big dig just 2 points ago. Holes on the dig. Drust. Wider once again. Lofts it over. Now the Lions. Clara Book. Biggest kill of the match. 2-point game. The closest ENC has been since early on in this third set.
Wow. Momentum. Seesaw, this ENC team, not going down without a fight.
Zelaya. Holes couldn't corral it. Hirano helps her out by the back line. Nelson just tips it over. The Lions, a big chance here. Asetsuno on the side out against NYU. Point for the Lions. 1-point game and a timeout call for the Violets. And just like that, this match completely different. ENC playing their best with their backs against the wall.
This is within reach. A comeback. We already saw it. They lost the first 2 sets by a wide margin in the championship game in the NAC against Maine Maritime. Coming back from a 2-0 deficit, getting the reverse sweep. Cutting the deficit to 1 here after they've had their backs against the wall this game and the entirety of this set. You look back just a few moments ago towards the beginning of this set when NYU was up 7 points at one time after a rally early on about the 12-13 point mark. And ENC not going down without a fight. They keep on battling back. That's been the story of this team this season, and the theme is that perseverance and that ability. And we talked about potentially switching up the game plan a little bit against the front line. They've very much done that, so trying to go high, get some fingertips instead of trying to go down low in the kill.
Telma Zelaya for the 3rd straight time at the service stripe. 3rd set, NYU in front, 2-0 and a match point. What an opportunity here for Eastern Nazarene, the number 8 team in this region. Dug out from Hirano. They set up Nelson. That would have been huge. Lions respond. On the far side, Asatuno. Hirano with the dig. Drust. One more time, Nelson. Rejected in front. Wardside at 22 apiece. The Lions roaring on their bench. Zelaya back to it. Looking to keep the season alive for ENC. Goes dead middle. Hirano with the dig. It might have got over the net. Oh, it's slammed home. ENC, their front line, led by Maria Clarabuk, makes it a 23-22 set. And what a battle it's been. Their first lead is the first 2 points. Holes bumps it in the air. Drust, two-handed slap. Holes dead middle looking for the kill. Zelaya keeps it in the air. Clarabuk can't get the kill. A reset here for the Violets. Nelson, they need her. They got her. 23-all. It's going to be a strong finish. Can ENC send it to a 4th set? Or will they go home on 2023? Jessica Spyberg on the serve. The Lions with a chance here. Asatuno off the net, right by the NYU bench. No whistles blown. We're still playing. Trust hits it over. Now a whistle blown and a point awarded to NYU. What a circus show of a point right there.
Coach Schmidt and the entire ENC team raising their arms in question of that one. As the call from the right side line judge says it was off the antenna. Looks like it'll remain that way. That's
but a late whistle
killer.
Too.
The late whistle, too. They kept playing it for about 15 seconds. After the initial call, no whistle.
This will do it for NYU. Can they move on? Asatuno! She keeps the season alive for the Lions. 24-all. Substitutions on the NYU side. Lindsay Hirano back in the game. And for Eastern Nazarene, Telma Zelaya, she also checks back in. Andrea Asetsuno on the serve here for ENC. Dug out from Holes. Drust sets them up. Wider with the slam. Give her the point. 25-24, win by 2. And back to a match point here as Drust and Wider check out. And NYU brings in Avel Lonsbash, their number 1 server, who started the match, looking to end it right here in the 3rd set. Can the number 1 seed in the region move on? The Violets looking to do it with a 3-set sweep. Lonsbash fires. Bumped up from Isatuno. Pierce sets up Barron. Holes keeps it alive. Here's Nelson. Kept alive one more time for the Lions. Lonsbush, Curtin. Oh, ENC stays alive. You cannot write this up. Eastern Nazarene, after losing set number 2, 25-9, they bring the match point now at 25-all. Amanda Pierce, the freshman, at the stripe. Holes digs it out. Nelson, back to Holes. A lot of backspin. Lions respond. Here's Barron. Hirano keeps it up. Lonsbash, they want Nelson, the freshman, taps it over off 2 different blockers. Pierce got to slap it over the net. She does. This one looks like it's too far. It is. Lions back in front by 1. Camille Nazar, too much on it. And now huge right here for Eastern Nazarene to send it to a set number 4. Amanda Pierce, dead middle on the serve. Lonsbash, one more time for Curtin. She places it perfectly. Back to 26 apiece.
They're not going to stop riding. The fight from these 2 teams for ENC after they were down 17-11, down 6 points just moments ago.
Nelson serve, dug out, chance here right in front. That was Silazar. Now Holes on the NYU side. What a save from Asatuno. Now Barron on the side out. The Lions get the point. 27-26. And Eastern Nazarene a chance to send it to a set number 4. 2 teams that have not lost since mid-October. Maria Clarabuk, the kill leader on the Lions side, takes a big deep breath. The serve. Holes digs it out. Lonsbush Back to Holes. Threads the needle. Almost sounds like a broken record. Lions up by 1. Violets tie it at 27. Now the Lions looking to take the lead for the first time in the extra frames. Lindsay Hirano on the serve, the libero. Asatuno bumps it up. Looking for Barron on the left side. Tipped from the middle blocker. And now Holes. Got it! 28-27. And now the match point for the Violets.
Make it 13 kills on the day. We're only in set 3 for Holes. The job she's done all season long. 1 point away, yet again the Violets.
Lindsay Hirano looking to send NYU to the second round. Bumped up from Asatuno. Here's Barron. Bingo! We're not going anywhere. 28 all. Alana Barron now at the service line. Has 10 kills to her name. Can she put ENC back in front by 1? Just gets over the net. Lonsbush sets one up. Hirano has to just bump it over with 2 hands. Salaya Silazar. Almost a miscommunication, but Silazar takes something off of it and places it on that left side. And back to the same story, same question. Can ENC send it to the 4th set? Set point for the Lions. Backs against the wall in 2023. Barron. Holes keeps it in the air. They go back to Holes. Oh, she got it. Went to the left side. Back at 29 all. Longest set we've seen in this regional so far. 1 game before this, but nothing's been at 29-29. Dominique Drust. 40 service aces this season for NYU. A dig from Asatuno. Silazar. Drust keeps it alive with 2 hands. They set up Holes. Too far. 30-29. And Eastern Nazarene, this is their chance once again. The 5th time they've been in this spot in the extra play. Annika Schmidt. Can she bring them and the whole Lions squad to a 4th set? Her serve. Holes. Drust. Holes one more time. The hammer's down. Folks, you can't make this up. 30-30. And the last 7 points. Eastern Nazarene has had the chance on the set point, but the Violets will not go away. Haley Holes will serve, the captain on the Violets side. Lofts it high in the air with a lot of topspin. Pierce digs it out. Here's Asatuno. Send no way in front. Give her one more chance. This time, she'll be too far. And now a match point for the first time in 7 chances. NYU the chance to move on.
First time for NYU. They've gone extra points since September 8th.
Haley Holes. Pierce digs it out. Asatuno, but NYU with the jackpot. Ella Wider, the rejection, and the Violets sweep in 3 sets, 32-30. A miraculous show. But the number 1 seed in the region moving on to round number 2 here from Ithaca, New York.
What a fight put up by Eastern Nazarene in the first round of regionals, going down with a sweep. But a tremendous job and a tip of the cap to them, coming in the underdog, the 8th seed, against the number 1 team in the region, the number 6 team in the nation in NYU. Nazarene coming so close with a couple of chances, going to 32 points in set number 3. NYU with a deep breath coming out of that one. And a great fight by Eastern Nazarene to cap off one of the best seasons, if not the best season in program history. A 28-2 overall record, undefeated in conference play, 12 straight wins. For the Violets, that's 14 straight wins And NYU, all the hype has been around this Violets team entering the regional. But I got to say, against this ENC team and the fight that they put up, that's going to give you a lot of confidence if you're some of the other teams around this regional, including Ithaca, who beat them in round one. The Violets, that front line was dominant, but ENC putting up a fight. That team led by Asatuno, the sophomore. She'll be back. Clara Buck, the sophomore as well. For a few of the star seniors, including Zelaya Deaton. This is the grad student Scamser as well, their final collegiate game. But what a fight this team put up, and you got to pat yourself on the back after a tremendous season for the Violets, though they're headed to round two.
The 5 teams that still remain must have all been watching on to see that battle. But NYU goes to that third set. They do sweep, but had to take it to a lot of extra points. 32-30 the final in the third set. And the Violets moving on for the 4th season in a row. They'll play tomorrow here from Ithaca, New York, and that ends the season for Eastern Nazarene College. 28-2 in the regular season. Conference champs. What a run for that Lions group. Well, that will do it here for this second game of this 4-game slate. Round 1 of the NCAA tournament here from Ben Light Gymnasium. For Eli Fishman, I'm Cam Mann. We say thank you so much for joining us, but 2 more games on slate here on Bomber Athletics. Bombers will play at 7:30. Coming up next, Stevenson and Babson. So we'll send it away here for the ceremony, but hey, we'll be back. 2 more games of NCAA tournament volleyball coming up.